Greetings YouTube, welcome back to the Meta channel. A lot of things had happened over the days, from me getting sick to my father got into an accident, and more recently my birthday, as well as my wife tested for positive. What an eventful week. In this video we will be going through Drajeweled. Yes, I know this video is like super late, but it's never too late in Cardfight Vanguard anyway, unless of course the newer support actually make whatever support that we have currently outdated. In any case, let's get started with this video. We have the Grade 1 Rideline Jewel Core Dragon. Auto when this unit is rolled upon by Demonic Stone Dragon Jewelneel, call this card to Rearguard Circle. Second skill, Auto Rearguard Circle. When this unit attacks or boosts, this unit gets 5k power until the end of that battle. At the end of that battle, put this unit into your soul. This effect is mandatory. The Grade 1 of the Rideline for Drajeweled is actually very interesting. This card basically allows you to have an early game aggression when you ride the Grade 2 Rideline on top of him, because you know he just gonna call himself and boom, you have a 13k attacker on your turn 2, which is not too bad. It's either your opponent is gonna be at 8k base or 10k base, depending on who goes first and who goes second. You could actually put this as a booster for Jewelneel, because Jewelneel has an on-hit skill which will make the whole column attack for 23, which most of the cases is gonna be a no guard, unless of course your opponent wants to gamble by putting a 1 to pass. I mean 15k is a 1 to pass, but then again, very rarely that I see people do that, except maybe those that want to try their luck, or maybe casual. The second skill, which moves Jewel Core Dragon to the soul, is mandatory. So if you don't want Jewel Core to move to the soul, just don't boost or attack. But in most cases, you would just want to either boost or attack with this one, because it's just free pressure. And since this is moving to soul, you will basically guaranteed one activation of Drajeweled skill, because later, once we get into Drajeweled, you will understand why we do need all of the right lines in the deck, unless of course you manage to soul charge another Grade 1. It's not like the best Grade 1 that we have seen it for Overdress, but then again, it's actually decent. Next, the Grade 2 Demonic Stone Dragon Jewelneel. Auto Vanguard Circle or Rearguard Circle. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, soul charge 1. Auto when this unit is rolled upon by a unit with Drajeweled in its card name, soul charge 1, and if your soul has 3 or more cards with different grades, draw a card. Never mind, we actually do see the different grade in the soul requirement already. So basically, when this unit attack hits, be it on the Vanguard or Rearguard, you get to soul charge 1, which means you have more soul resources. But then again, in Drajeweled's Rideline or the Drajeweled deck, you basically want like specific cards grade in the soul rather than having like tons of soul in the soul. Because unlike Bruce or Barrow, where you need a lot of soul, for this one you basically need a certain amount of cards to be in the soul. Only then you're able to, like, you know, use some of their skills. The second skill will always go off when you ride into either one of the Drajeweled, because you will definitely have Grade 0, Grade 1, and the Grade 2, which is this card. Once you ride this card will automatically become the soul, and of course this is provided you use the Grade 1 to attack on the Rearguard or boost that moves himself to soul, which means that you will definitely have 3 different grades. So most of the time you're gonna get that draw, unless of course you didn't use the Grade 1 skill and you didn't soul charge like another Grade 1 from the top of your deck, which might suck a little bit, but most of the time you will definitely have 3 different grades in the soul to draw one. Also, if you do want to like make sure Jewelneel attack hits when he's on the Vanguard, you can basically just call a Grade 1 to the back as a booster, just to make it at 18k column, because even at 15k it's still a 1 to pass, unless of course your opponent wants to gamble and you didn't get any trigger. That's fine. I mean, one hand. One 15k shield gone, it's not too bad. But most of the time your opponent will just no guard, because you know, soul charge 1 is not like the most game breaking resource gain that you can have in the whole of Vanguard. Next up, of course, is the Grade 3 Drajeweled Jewel Embracing Dragon Fang Drajeweled. Continuous when this card would be rolled upon, it is also regarded as Demonic Jewel Dragon Drajeweled. Second skill, Auto Vanguard Circle. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, cost Soul Blast 4 cards with different grades. Choose one of your opponent's Vanguard. Until the end of turn, increase or decrease its power to 1. And if your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, this unit gets critical +1. Power at that time becomes 1 and can increase or decrease afterward. Third skill, continuous Rearguard Circle. If you Soul Blast 4 or more cards at the same time for the cost of your card's ability this turn, this unit gets 5k power. As we seen from the Youthberg video, Drajeweled also has almost exactly the same skill, as which you basically will be considered personal riding if you ride the other Drajeweled, which is from DBT-07 which is really surprising they reveal it here. Now keep in mind here is that if you do ride into the new Drajeweled instead of this TD Drajeweled, the next time you will ride into the TD Drajeweled, it will not be counted as personal riding, because once we get into the other Drajeweled, you will actually notice that he does not really have that skill that which this TD Drajeweled has. And of course, from me reading the skill to you, Dust makes a return for you boomers players out there. If you don't know what Dust is, yeah, decrease or increase the power to 1, and that's basically Dust. Reducing the opponent's Vanguard power to 1 means more shield is required for your opponent to guard your stuff, which indirectly means that most of your attacking unit will be a sort of plus 10k power. The gain critical part is actually not too bad. What this means is that if you go second, it's actually not too bad. It's actually not too bad because you are attacking at 2 critical, which is sometimes could be detrimental. And if your opponent does not have a PG, yeah, they will throw down a lot of hand, trust me. Him being an 18k rearguard is okay, but I guess there's not enough space for you to run this. You rather keep copies of Drajeweled in your hand for personal riding rather than you call it down as an 18k, which is not really ideal, I would say. So yeah, that's basically Drajeweled. Now, since they revealed the new DBT07 Drajeweled, let's take a look at what has been changed versus the TD Drajeweled. Demonic Jewel Dragon Drajeweled. Basically, the second skill is the same. There's no difference. The first skill, however, is changed to active Vanguard Circle once per turn. Cost Counterblast 1 and Soul Charge 2. If all of the cards Soul Charge have different grade, you may draw a card. So yeah, as mentioned here, there's no this card is regarded as this and that card name. So if you write the TD Drajeweled, which is the previous Drajeweled, on top of this, the personal ride will not activate. Although if you do, whether or not you will want to run the old Drajeweled inside the deck once you have this Drajeweled is still questionable, because I don't think there's enough space for you to run the old Drajeweled. But yeah, this card basically has the skill to Soul Charge by itself, whereas the TD Drajeweled, you will need other cards to help you Soul Charge, which is not really that great because the Soul Charge is kind of slow and you will start to minus your hand quite a lot. Not only does this card not cost you any hand, you actually get to draw if you manage to Soul Charge 2 different grade by that skill, which is not too bad. And even if you Soul Charge different grade, the draw is actually still optional. You don't necessarily have to draw even if both cards are different grades, which is something actually I'm really appreciating. But yeah, that's basically Drajeweled, although we still need to wait like I think close to a month or 2 for DBT07 to come, but it's okay. And Bushiro revealing him here, which is I don't know. I think probably because of the anime, which is why they reveal it so early. But yeah, Drajeweled is basically going to be one of the most dangerous Rideline. Like the more you progress to the late game, the more dangerous he will become. In that case, let's see what other support cards that Drajeweled basically has. The first card, of course, is one who beckons Heavy Thunder Fulgress. Although when this unit is placed on Rhaegar Circle, if you have a Vanguard with Drajeweled in his card name, cost Soul Blast 1, choose a card from your drop, put it into your soul, and this unit gets 2k power until the end of the turn. So as we all know, Drajeweled needs like 4 different card grades in the soul in order to activate the Drajeweled skill. So a skill like this inside the troll deck is actually not surprising. You basically Soul Blast out any of the duplicates. Like for example, if you have like too many grade 0s in the soul, you can just like Soul Blast one of it out and then just replace with whatever grade that is in your drop zone. So your drop zone is actually one of your other resources to take a look about. So whatever you throw from your hand to ride is actually super important as well. And what's more, this card can be a 10k booster for 1 turn, which is not too bad. And you can just try to put this behind the Vanguard to source of a 10k, which is super nice. This card I think is going to be a stapler in Drajeweled deck. Next is Companion of the Deepening Darkness Lin. Although when this unit is placed on Rhaegar Circle, look at 2 cards from the top of your deck, choose a card from among them, put it into your soul, and put the rest to the bottom of your deck. Selective Soul Charge. Okay. This is something really good. So we don't really like blindly Soul Charge as opposed to like Bruce as well as Barrow. This card basically gives you the choice for you to choose one out of the 2 cards that you're gonna see at the top of your deck and put it into your soul, which is super nice. And what's more, the more you use Lin's skill, the more filtered your deck is gonna be, which potentially could be very dangerous as the game progresses on. She's not a bad supporting unit. unit, if you ask me. The other best thing here is that this card is generic. Any deck could use this, especially Chaos. Chaos could definitely use this because, you know, Chaos does need a lot of soul, and most of the time the soul charge isn't exactly as good. But yeah, this card is really good in Chaos. Next, of course, is the Grade 2, Ultrasound Shrie. Although when this unit is placed on rearguard from hand, cost counterblast 1, look at 3 cards on the top of your deck, choose a card from among them, put it into your soul, shuffle your deck. And if your soul has 4 or more cards with different grade, draw a card. So with the previous grade 1, the Lin, helping you filter your deck, you can basically call this down and shuffle the whole deck, which means that, yeah, your triggers are not gonna go away. And what's more, it's generic. Any deck could use this. This card is just insane. Think about it. For a counterblast, you get to check the top 3 to put 1 card into the soul, and you draw 1, which definitely is online on the first turn of grade 3, because unless of course you didn't get any grade 3, but with the support surrounding dark states, I guess you're able to get the grade 3 into the soul fairly easily. So the draw 1 is actually really nice, which means that you don't really use any hand. You get 1 rearguard and basically helps you reshuffle your whole deck from the triggers being stacked at the bottom, which is super nice. And what's more, I think this is more suited for Chaos than Drajeweled, but yeah, this card in a Drajeweled deck is actually super nice. Next, grade 3 Tracrance Raider, auto rigor circle. If you have a Vanguard with Drajeweled in his card name, cost counterblast 1, and this unit gets 10k until the end of that battle. At the end of that battle, put this unit into your soul. This is a 23k attacker that moves to soul, and he's a grade 3. So you know, the previous card is not that hard to use. This basically allows you to use Drajeweled skill on the 3rd turn. If you don't have any grade 3s in the soul, you can basically just call this down, provided you need to attack with him first. Only then you attack with Drajeweled and then proceed to use Drajeweled skill. This card, I think, will be replaced because he's not exactly as powerful as I first initially thought, because, you know, he goes to soul, that's it, and he costs 1 counterblast. Not really the best card out of the TD, but he does makes activating Drajeweled skill much easier. But yeah, overall, I think Time Jared is a better card than this card, if you ask me. And the last card that we have is actually from DPT06, which was revealed like one of Tuesday's stream. Merciless Count Botis. Auto Rigor Circle. When you Soul Blast 2 or more cards at the same time for your card ability cost, this unit gets 5k power until the end of turn. If you Soul Blast 3 or more at the same time, cost counterblast 1, choose a card from your drop, put it into your soul, choose up to 1 of your opponent's rigor with the same grade as that card and retire it. Count the number of soul blasts for 1 cost. So yeah, this is basically the infamous card that got people thinking, hey, can this combo with selfishness, greediness, or something? Basically the golden form of Greedin, or should I say Super Saiyan form of Greedin Blitzorder. Since I am this late in making this video, it has already been confirmed by Bushi. Yes, this interaction actually works. So we actually have Denial Griffin in standard, which is not something I am particularly happy about, because Denial Griffin is never a good thing. Once DPT06 comes out, do expect this combo to be played like heavily whenever you see a Dark State stack, and especially if you see Botis on the field. If you see Botis on the field, you're gonna expect the Blitzorder. So if you have some form of retiring, I do suggest you to retire Botis as soon as possible, because he is just a ticking time bomb. Botis by himself is an 18k beater, while you're able to snipe 1 rearguard whenever Drajeweled activates the skill, because this whole deck, the card that basically soul blast for this whole deck is Drajeweled. Of course, you could argue that if you use Gugnoram skill, soul blast 3 to draw 1, you could also activate Botis skill. And also for the soul blast cost, you do actually get 1 card refunded to you, because you get to choose whatever card is in the drop to put it into your soul, which is super nice. And whatever card you put from the drop to your soul is actually crucial and should take your opponent's rearguard into account if you want to snipe one of your opponent's rearguard, which is super nice. And yeah, this is the triple R for DPT06, and I think this will probably be with Drajeweled for quite some time because due to the interaction between Shining Selfishness and Botis. But I don't think this combo will stick for long. I'm not a fan of the combo because I think it shouldn't be in Overdress or in any format. Yes, I'm also referencing Denial Griffin shouldn't exist. But yeah, it's, you know, that's another topic for another day. If I do go into premium, that is. Denial Griffin in Dark states. How long will this last? And that is all for this video. Do let me know down in the comment section on what do you think of Drajeweled. I personally do really like the Drajeweled Rideline, but at this moment it seems like this card is the weakest out of the 3 trial deck. This is because we don't really get like 5 attacks, except maybe until DBT07. I'm gonna be super happy once that happens. Anyways, do like and subscribe if you like this video, and of course do ring the bell notification icon so that you don't miss a video I upload. With that being said, I'll see you all on the field.